Hey, Shilo Shilo. So new and exciting. The new box, the Nat 20 box is here. I know some of you guys saw it. I'm very excited to get started. We still have some beta testing spots. So if you are interested in trying these flavors, energy, the focus, the mood, the appetite suppression, all that good stuff. But what's really awesome is maybe you're not ready for this round. We have other rounds and there's other client specials. So please reach out to one of us. I just wanted to make sure that I did talk about that new and exciting thing, and that rad line is new and here. So I have a tendency to get so excited and just talk about a million other things because I don't know about you guys, but where the shell did this year go? It's kind of crazy. It's already like August. So let me know, are you guys doing back to school shopping? Do you like it's interesting no longer being a teacher. But I see like I still follow a lot of teacher accounts. So just hearing everybody talking about back to school, like what they're requesting. Um, yes, Lynn, I'm so glad you asked about the ketones and all the products. So luckily, I will tell you, if you haven't gone through the link in all of our bios, because we all do have one of those, there's this amazing robot that basically customize your journey for you. So it makes suggestion, ask you what benefits, because maybe like I'm energy and focus, maybe you're asking about something else. So what's really cool is you can click through there and then you'll be able to text me or just drop info and we can answer the questions that way. I didn't mean to go on a ketone rant. Usually we talk about just anything under the sun, because that's what's really cool. When your job, Shalo is social media, you can literally do whatever you would like on lives. And I would love to hear from everybody what you like. I seriously watch people organize because it's motivating me to want to organize and clean up my house. Uh, Doing the dishes, not, that doesn't really work for me. Right. I'm just leading into my neurodivergent. We don't need to be working on everything all the fucking time, right? Like there's certain areas that just like that doesn't need to be worked on. That's fine. Um we're doing the cold showers still, so I'm proud of that. Uh Annie, I know, is starting something and I'm very excited to
Yeah,
follow.
I'm just like trying to start a new series. Like, I just think it's really important series. I guess I want to touch on like back to school. I'll start where Tawny kind of started with the whole thing. Like, so my TikTok's a little different than Tawny's, and I'm like deep in Bama Rush. If you're following Bama Rush, throw Bama Rush, throw some red and white hearts in the comments for us when you watch this, because I'll know you're my fellow Bama Rush fans. I'm addicted. It's season 3, and like it sounds so silly, and Tawny giggles at me every time, but like I cannot get over like the correlation to watching these girls build huge brands. And these are 18-year-olds going through the rush process. Like when I was 18, I could not have built a social media brand. And these girls, like multiple of them are celebrating hitting over 100,000 followers in the past 5 days since they started the process. Like that's helping like big brands like Hallmark, Teletides has now sponsored one of the girls, Morgan, who like I'm obsessed with. And like this year, I think for the first time ever, they're giving representation to girls that aren't just like your typical like blondie sorority girls. Like Morgan doesn't even wear makeup. She's not like she's like what I would call like mid-sized person. And like so she doesn't fit that like, beauty queen standard. And she's like one of the biggest stars of like the TikTok Bama Rush girls to come out this year. So it's just really cool to watch her. She's one of the ones that's like super built this brand and like is getting packages from PR companies now. And like people are begging her to make an Amazon wish list. And it just is revalidation that like there is massive businesses to be made in social media, not just like personal brands. Like that's what we build here, is just like what the girls are building like through their rush talks is a brand. They're branding themselves. They're only posting certain content on purpose to look good to the houses, to look good to brands. Like they're not posting things with alcohol in their hand. Like it's very specific and curated. That's building personal brand. That is personal branding. Each one with their like monogrammed bags that are their like they are seriously a textbook case of building personal brands. And it just is validation that like social media is a future, like where we are all going. It is the future. And like if you're not taking it seriously, if you don't think that those skills like building a personal brand is like extremely important, I think you're missing where so much of the world is going, where so much advertising money, so much revenue, PR, all these things are going to social media now. They're not going to commercials. They're going to content creator, UGCs. They're looking for real people like these girls, like us, to create content like you. And that's where we bridge the gap, is like teaching people that. And I just think that that's so, so special. And even if maybe you don't want to be your own brand, like social media, the freaking TikToks for these houses, like the sororities, are insane. Like, they're $1 billion productions. These people, these TikTok accounts have millions of followers. These girls are producing content at an extremely high level. Like, tons of brands would hire people who can manage accounts like that, who can comment back, who can create engaging content. Like, their jobs, like full-time jobs out in the world doing social media full-time. So that people just don't even see it as a like real business or a real thing still is crazy to me, when you can sit here and even just watch Bama Rush and pick it apart like that.
Totally. Well, I just think people don't realize that it's like being paid to go to a trade school. Like, my family thinks it's funny. Like, I remember my cousin laughing at me last year, like, and I've posted the video because it is hilarious. Like, he goes, your mom, like, I'm like, Mom, will you record me while I like get in the lake and stuff so I can use it for content? And so my cousin in the
Influences in
background,
the wild.
and he's like laughing, and he's like, hey Mom, record me playing mermaids. He's like laughing, and it is funny, it's hilarious. But I was like, I can turn that into content. And like, that was back when you were making money on your reel. So I'm like, you literally laughing at me made me money, so like, keep laughing, haha. And like, people don't, like, that's what she's saying, is maybe you're not like, oh well, I really want to work with whatever brand. Think about your hobby. How freaking cool would it be to get to work with the brands? Like, you already use that, like makeup. Do you know how cool it is? Not only like it necessarily brands that have sent me, but even just connecting with people. Like, Annie up there is showing like makeup, like how many of the things that I've got to try because I'm like, they sent it. And so it's something that's really cool. The world is going to be poop, not social media. Well, I mean, there's bad and good to everything. So, I mean, there's of course some people using social media, like faking it and taking going on fake vacations and taking pictures and stuff like that. And then there's other people using their social media to connect and like raise awareness. Do you know how many people I know that because of me sharing my brain surgery story has like impacted their health journey? Like, one chick, she was like, if I didn't advocate for myself, like you said, the doctors told her we would not have found this tumor behind your eye and you would have gone blind. So like, I don't care if my accounts never grow again. I know one person has her freaking eyesight because I didn't shut up. So like, it gives you not only just like strength, but like connection. And why would you not want to get to work with like brands that you would love?
And I think that addresses, if you're going to talk about that, like the negative social media, like that is why brands want real people. They don't want these giant curated creators with millions of followers. They want real people with real accounts. That's like where personal branding comes in. That's why people like even Alex Earle, who does have millions, she's so personal. When we talk about their examples, like she sits there and she tells you about her throwing up in a trash can the night before, or whatever she's talking about. She shows you her messy room. So it's in seeing all of these realities that like make brands want to work with you more, make you more relatable as a creator and as a brand. So when you are fake, or you buy followers, you do any of these huge things that are wrong, that are not going to create an audience that's yours, of course that's going to be negative. People can sense fake even through the internet.
Mm-hmm. But that's what she's saying, is like, people don't want the stereotypical, like normal. And that's also what I'm loving, is it's changing the marketing. Because for me, if I watch a whole bunch of people, like I got influenced. I saw a lot of different creators that I like were using the snail mucin. I got it. I freaking like it. It works. Okay. Much more than if I would have seen an ad on TV of some model who has perfect fucking skin, who they hired, and I don't know that she really uses it. So like, that's why UGC, user generated content, it has so much more value. And it's really cool because it's finally giving the power back to the people, the consumers who actually use it, instead of it just being some certain people that some random people decided to choose because of what they look cute, not because like they're funny or they're interesting or they have a great story or like they connect with you or
And
whatever.
I think it's Yeah, I 100% agree. And people connecting with your story, with who you are and different parts of it is the essential component there that like is almost, is not unteachable, but if you're not willing to truly share your stories or share who you are online, then people are going to read right through it. You can be just like a dancer or whatever, but like when you don't talk to the camera or tell what's really going on in your life, people can see through that. I think it's interesting that you talked about like the alternative, like the people want people that are a little bit different. Do you think that that might be why like you're now having like success and like your commercials, and because like even it's affecting that world because social media has gone so real and so raw that now even commercials want people that like look, you know, not
Yes.
like different in a weird, but like are
No, no,
not
no.
like the classic blonde big boobed models.
Yes. Like you would usually think not only did social media give me the confidence to be like, yeah, I want to do this, um, but it also gave me like the skill set to be able to do that, which was very interesting because I know people like my family didn't understand when I would lead these like Zooms. And I know right now I'm live and I understand how weird it sounds. Like you can do lives, but like you can't public speak. Like in school, I used to shake. I like get really nervous. And I still sometimes when we unmute on Zooms because I can see people's faces. I don't care when I'm live. I can't see your reaction. I can't see you laughing or not laughing or being like, what the heck? But on a Zoom and in person, I can see that. And when you are on a set for a commercial and literally all eyes are on you, you have to be like, okay, I can handle this because I know I can because I've thrown myself into so many awkward situations, going live, doing yoga, going live in my bathing suit, you know, and having supportive people, yes, but also having haters. You just learn to develop this. And it's not even like a confidence, it's just a self-worth. Like I know that I am a good person and I like me. And yes, it's awesome that a lot of other people like me, but like it does not phase me when someone mean comes on and wants to like say something hurtful. Cause I'm like, you are clearly a hurt person to like know nothing about me and to come on and just like, this is clearly about yourself. And a long time ago, it wasn't that way. Like even when I first started going live, like I would say I didn't care, but I would get off lives and like it would kind of bug me because I was like, oh, because I didn't do the personal development and see that like it really is about them, not about
I
you.
truly, truly think that that is people's biggest fear when it comes to social media is like getting hate or getting trolls. And it's so funny to me because I've even gone to the level of like having like people that are personally like that know me that were trolling me, like trying to deal with a personal situation in a public platform. Like I've had people make multiple fake accounts to continue stalking me after being blocked to make comments. And like, yeah, that did make it hard for me to post on social media, but it almost like in a weird way reaffirmed like my strength. It's my page. It's your page. Like it is your media. It's like your house. If I don't want you here, you can leave. You don't have to be on my page. If I'm living so rent free in your head that you're making fake accounts to follow me, that's a you problem. Like I have control alt deleted you and you're still coming back somehow from the dead. Like but you don't get that until you go through it. It's kind of like a, you know, like when they get like badges in Girl Scouts and whatever, like you have to actually do the task to like get the badge. And then you wear the badge like proudly and it reminds you like, I can always do this. But until like you just take the one step to put yourself out there, you won't even understand that for every one like weird troll comment that could, I mean, I've got called a whale. I got talked about like crazy people have said crazy things. People said like, how could I know about hydration because I'm a like larger woman. Like, what the hell does being hydrated have to do with my size? Okay, cool. But like, you can let those things roll off once you go through it because there are going to be 5 positives for every one of those. There's going to be somebody who messages you say, and like, yeah, maybe there's a kind of controversy in the like body positive community about saying like you're so brave to post that, but I don't necessarily take that as an insult like some other people. Like yeah, it could be like a backhanded compliment. I can see that side of people's argument, but people are so scared to just put their authentic selves out on the internet that I think a lot of times when the people are brave enough to comment that, it's not coming from a double-sided place. It's genuinely them for the first time seeing someone who looks like them, who might have the insecurity that they think they have, or like they might see their insecurity in my body, but me showing up and dancing and jiggling it around and smiling through it and like still feeling confident and sexy in myself might just be the little bit they need to feel a little bit more confident. I was terrified to wear a crop top out of the house 4 years ago. Like literally terrified. Now I wear crop tops every day. I picture me crop tops everywhere. Like I was terrified. I went to a Mexican restaurant with my boyfriend for 2 hours, and the entire time I like kept pulling it down to my leggings. I was like sure that everybody in the restaurant was staring at me. I was so fucking uncomfortable in that crop top, and it was like a high neck one. Like it was not a showy crop top. And then I was like, well, it didn't kill me. Nobody said a word to me. Like my worst fear was that somebody in public was going to come out to me, and nobody did it. So it just, you have to like stop assuming the worst and just start doing the thing to get the badge. Because once you have the badge, like you'll just be reassured every time. You'll have that to remember and like hold on to, and it will make every other interaction easier. So I just encourage people, like I said, maybe it's not going online. Maybe it's not posting a video or stuff. Maybe it has nothing to do with social media. Maybe it's like you're really scared to meet new friends and you go to like, or you're scared to date and you go to speed dating, or you know what I mean? You go to a singles night event at your local church or whatever. I don't know if they do that at churches, but I just made that up out of my butt. But like, you know, something cute. Maybe you are a single parent and you want like connections with other parents. So you join a like parenting for cool kids. I don't know, parenting for people who like beer group. Like, I don't you know, you find your people and you put yourself out there like that. And that's just going to be uncomfortable for 5 minutes. And then it's going to be met with a bunch of positive reinforcement.
Plus, I mean, you talked about being in person and online. Like the funniest thing when people are like, aren't you so worried? I go, here's the honest to God truth. Way more positivity than I've ever gotten negativity. Even if I stacked all the negativity all together, it still it would not even come close. So it always outweighs itself. And also, here's the thing is, in person, you've probably maybe had someone say some shit to you. You know what? On the internet, what's really cool? It's a stranger. It doesn't matter. In 5 years, you're not even really going to remember that statement. That you're definitely not going to remember that person. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. It's always so much better, the good that you get out of it. And it's a badge of honor. And because I do things online and get myself uncomfortable, it's helped me have more experiences in real life because I have more confidence going into things because I'm like, you know what? I can handle it. Whatever's going to happen, like, cool. Or I don't like it and I leave. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, and it's so cool when you get to connect with people and you find some of the best friendships online. I tell people the more you can be yourself, like, it's cool in my inbox that I get funny, you know, I love being open about my cannabis usage because it has opened so many other different doorways and conversations with people. And I feel like a huge weight was lifted. And I was nervous about that. But if you know me now, you're like, what? You are like always in your stories. You're always in a post. But a couple years ago,
I would say I almost didn't come meet you. The first more, I was so freaking scared because I was driving myself there. Like Dale was at work. I had nobody to like get me out the door. You know how like it kind of helps when there's like somebody like, you're like, I'm leaving at this time and they like help you back. Like, no, it was just me in the house with my ADHD brain, like trying to get all these things. Like, oh my, I was so scared. I'd never met strictly online friends in real life before that weekend. And I am so glad that tears streaming down my face, driving down the highway, I did it anyway. Because there's still a video. I just posted it. If you want to go on my TikTok, Traumacado, you can search it. It's me of Tawny. And there's our first hug, is the like last shot of that. And I will never forget her coming down the elevator, her looking exactly like I pictured she would be. She was taller. That was the first thing I said to her. You're so tall. And that changed everything. Like it was meant to be. That was meant to be the first group of people that I interacted with in person because they were the people that were truly going to heal my friendship relationships. Are all of them still present and close with us anymore? No. But did they all like play a massive part in healing at a time in my life where like my friends who were local to me were treating me like such trash that I didn't even want to have friends anymore. Like I called, like one of our first conversations was me calling Tawny, just bawling my brains out over a situation with a friend. And I didn't think that I could heal those wounds. And I never in a million years would have thought that people online became in real friends would be the people who like I truly lean on in my darkest moments. So you just never know what connections are going to like come your way. And you don't know what by putting yourself out there, you're going to build the confidence to do, even as simple as like asking to partner with brands. Like on TikTok shop, if you're a TikTok affiliate, for the shop, first of all, if you have 5,000 followers, please go apply. Like, please join us. Like, let's all make money off TikTok. Like, come on now, let's do it together. They give you coupons for free stuff. You get free, like, it's fun. It's fun over here. Come swim in the waters. But on there, you have to apply for these free samples and you get rejections. And the first time I got one, I was like, ooh, that pinged, that hurt my soul. Like, I was like, why don't they want me? I had a whole thing. And if I hadn't done the work and if I didn't have a community backing me, and I wouldn't understand that that's not my worth. My worth isn't in somebody else saying me yes or no. It's in me saying yes. It's in me putting it out there. Not every brand is meant for you. Not everything is meant for you. Just like not every person you date is meant for you. They're not like, you don't marry. I mean, unless you've had like 20 marriages, like that, you do you, boo. But like, you don't marry every single person you've ever dated. It's the same thing with creating content. Not every piece of content you create is going to be evergreen, is going to be forever. Some are going to fizzle out. Some are going to take 30 seconds of thought and they're going to go viral. Like, you can't control that part, but you can control putting it out.
And you got to learn and have fun. There's some things I look back at and the worst case scenario, you guys, it's called archive. You can archive stuff. Everybody's like, can't believe you posted that to the internet. I'm like, the best thing is some of the stuff that I thought, here's I will tell you, one of my favorite things to do: post something and go on a walk. Don't look at your notifications. First of all, you should have your notifications turned down anyways, and you should only check that platform when you want to go on that platform. But you will realize really fast, number one, everybody is worried about them damn selves. Not that many fucking people. Even when you're posting on the internet, like, hey, like the most scandalous things that you think, like, hello, I remember the first time coming out about being bisexual, I thought immediately I was going to get phone calls from my family. Did I eventually get phone calls? Yes. Was it funny to see who really stalks my stuff? How fast word travels? Those kind of things? Yes. But I realized it's so much, you think it's so much bigger in your head, and it's so freeing when you get to say those things. And I can tell you, having a stroke at 28 and having 2 brain surgeries, when your health is not that great, you are not going to be thinking, oh, I can't believe I did that embarrassing stuff. You're going to think about all the stuff that you wish you would have done. And I don't want to have regrets. And I would much rather try stuff and then find out I'm maybe better at something else. I have no idea. Like, I fell into the cold shower things and I'm freaking loving it. Who knows what's going to come from it? I want to do ice plunges. And then like, maybe I'm going to swim in like all these crazy, awesome, cold ass places in my mermaid tail. Like, big things can come from this. So
Can we go do an Arctic plunge?
Yes. Team wise, Angela, you want to do it? Start like, because I know Angela was down for the shark, so I love it because I feel like Angela's like down. She's like, yeah, I'll try anything. And it's just like, why not? Just to say, like,
funny crazy shit thing once.
How cool would it be to jump into freezing cold water in like Antarctica? Like,
yeah,
come on, how do you not want to do that like one time?
No, just to live. You gotta live. I want my bucket list like checked off with just experiences, because
sun's out, buns out.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you have to get like the fun. They have like neon paint, like paint each other up. Like,
yeah.
Have so much fun.
We could paint little affirmations on each other.
Oh my God. I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah.
That was really bougie spiritual. That was like Ron going on this. You have to put your tensions into your essential oils. I love this team. So no matter where you fit on the, I don't like to call this, but the woo-woo scale, you are welcome here. Yes. Whether you giggle at it or you're totally into it, you are always welcome around us. I love that stuff. I think it's cool.
Lots of empathy and lots of education. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot because of the team, and I appreciate that. We've had tarot cards readings, we have had just cool sound baths, like all this amazing stuff. So I'm totally into it. And like Annie said, we're very welcoming. And what's really nice is like, that's what's so cool about having your own business, is you don't have to be like, okay, like meditation and affirmations, like all this stuff, I was meditating, but it was not hitting. Affirmations I thought were ridiculous. And then it hit me when someone's like, the more uncomfortable that feels, like the more you need to work on that. And I was like, because I can say certain things and they don't bug me. Yeah, that hits with your like, oh my God, why do I have trouble doing that? And then the first mirror work where they're like, can you just stare at yourself in the mirror and like say, I was like, look, even a tear is gonna start. I used to be so mean to Tawny. So mean to her.
Oh yeah. Mirror work was wild for me. And like it's still so weird. Yeah. When I'm not gonna get as emotional as Tawny about it, but like when I think about the way like I looked at myself in the mirror, the first thing I picked was a flaw every single time. Whether it was like a little bit of fat sticking out of a part of my outfit, whether it was my hair being out of place, like and my mom used to call me vain like a lot as a kid because I would constantly be like looking in mirrors. I think this might also have to do with like being ADHD and like possibly autistic, but like I was trying to mirror and like look right. So I would often sit where I could kind of see my reflection. So I knew I was like giving the right reactions to things. But my mom like always called me vain and stuff for that. And I really like that messed with my head because I think it was really truly me being super insecure and like wanting to look right and be like and so that's why my relationship with the mirror was wild. And I had to kind of like untangle all of that to just be able to like look in the mirror and be like, oh, it's you, it's me, we are good here. Like my favorite affirmation is like, my body is perfect exactly as it is in this moment. It's gotten me this far and it will continue to get me as far as we're going to go. Because it helped anchor me and my body being what is like my living being, not being something that is like physically like pick atable. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but like when I think about it as a moving, living organ, like part of my like being in that way, instead of like my external shell that I need to make look a certain way, it's like it's doing instead of being. I don't know if that makes sense, but like that really helps me sometimes to just like separate that. So that's like my mirror work tip, is to really kind of think about what your relationship is, like what thoughts come up when you look in a mirror, not just like what is the first thought, where are like what's the patterns and stuff like that for a few weeks, and then try to change it. Just be really kind to yourself through the process of mirror work, because like you guys just witnessed Tawny get like really emotional. Like it will get really deep because you're looking deep at yourself. And when's the last time you actually took time with yourself? Probably a really long time. So if you are hearing this and listening to this, like just please hear a heart and like hear my heart when I say like mirror work is life-changing, but it will also bring up a bunch of stuff that you didn't think was going to come to the surface. It just cracks it. Like the trend. I know you guys seen the trend of parents cracking their eggs on kids' heads, because I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I've been watching the wives do it on their husbands. I want to really badly do it with Patrick, but
I'm scared. I know I'm scared to do it today.
yeah,
I'm gonna like
I have to live with
that goes
him.
all over and
Yeah. And I'm just so afraid. Like I have a tendency I'm way stronger than I think I am. But
ooh, I'm gonna read what Angela wrote in the chat because it's really good. I've always had a problem being my best self to me instead of doing what people expect me to be and not question what other people are going to think, be it my family or otherwise. I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot more common. Like I think that's super universal. Like there's so many people pleasers in our generation, and that we worked so hard, and like being family, like blood is thicker than water. Like so much of this has been so cemented into us from a young age that pleasing them has become part of our identities. And like in order to do that, like you have to separate. Like I don't know who I am sometimes, and like I'm fully willing to admit that I'm almost 30 years old and I don't know who the F I am sometimes. So sometimes I have to fully step back and like not discuss decisions with other people, and like journaling. And I hate it. I hate journaling. I'm not an organized person. I don't journal every day, but like when I even like pick up my phone and talk to text into my notes, that's my favorite way to journal, because then I just get like a stream of consciousness from myself. Like I go in the bathtub and I do that. And like that sounds silly and kind of like self-care and really in-depth self-care, but I love baths, so it's relaxing for me. And I get in a place where I can just kind of talk to myself. And when I talk it out with myself that way, or if I sit down and like silent journal and write it out, either way, things come out that I'm not expecting. So that helps me kind of see where I am. And then I go back to discuss things with people. I no longer allow people to like, if they bring something to my attention, I don't allow the discussion to happen at the same point. Like if they're asking me something that brings up a like pull in my brain, I pause I don't say like, no, yes, I just ask if we pause this so I can have some time to reflect and decide what's best for me here. And then like currently I'm trying to decide if it's a good time for me to go stay with my mom for a couple months. She needs help. There's some other stuff going on. So I'll wrap this part up, but I just think that it's up to me. I have to figure that out. So like talking to her again today about it, talking to Dale more about it, even talking to Tawny about it, isn't going to help me decide what's best for me. It's silencing those noises, actually taking 20 minutes without music on, without a podcast, just in your own mind. Like there's so many times where we just pick up our phone and scroll, or we play music, or we pick up a game controller or whatever to stop the things in our head or to overshadow it, when what we need to be doing is taking 20 minutes to just listen to what's going on inside our head instead. I really like showers. If you want to buy shower crayons and write your stuff out in the shower with shower crayons so you don't lose it, that's also a great idea. I did that for a while, but then the shower crayons kind of started staining everything, so like be warned. But take time to listen to yourself. That's my best advice when it comes to struggling with people pleasing, is really taking chunks and finding ways to listen to your own voices and not discussing with other people, like taking separate space for that.
And what really helped me was the switch up of asking myself, like, who actually said that? Like, why do I think that way? Like, who in my life put that thought into my head? Like, why do I always say I'm lazy? I don't think that I'm lazy. I know that I do a lot. Somebody along the way. And so I've been asking myself more like, why do I think that way? And like tracing it back and realizing like somebody in my life told me to feel that way. Why do I feel like I have to have a kid right now? Because society is telling me that I'm 35 and if I don't do it right now, I'm never going to get a chance. Well, that's bull honky. There's plenty of women having it later. So, and one other tip that helped, I liked Annie said the shower, is I have been trying on my walk to not have any music. And there's something about, if you can walk out things, the physiology of moving can also help your brain sometimes work out things. So that's sometimes when like I try and think about that stuff, like, why am I actually feeling this way? Like, why, who said this to me and who put this idea in my head? And then that's been helping me realize like, I don't really want to do that. I'm trying to people please everybody or blah, blah, blah. So
I love that.
South.
Moving is essential to moving through emotions. They're feelings. Like you have to feel them. They have to move through. They move like, so whether that's you taking the silent time, maybe you don't want to walk and take your thoughts at the same time. That's fine. You don't want to work out and do that. Do take time like after you sit with your thoughts. If you're not going to do Tawny's walk and move through it, and even play your favorite songs and shake your ass. Trauma is stored in your hips. So when you shake your butt, it literally physically releases stored trauma in the body. So that's my last tip, is shake your butt when you're sad. Blast your music after you've got up in your thoughts. Blast your music, shake your butt.
Those are so good. Oh my gosh. I love it. And the replay will be up on our YouTube. Feel free. Next week, it's going to be on Wednesday though. So come, you can work with us. You can walk and talk. I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky Wednesday. And that's what's so cool.